Before the fight, a massive episode. We're wrapping all 4 fight nights from the weekend. NTG was our gym of the week, and Third Man's Thoughts with Phil Austin, telling us everything we can and can't do from the referee's point of view. Luckily, we're joined by Adam Lovelock, filling in for Joel as Joel's down sparring Tim Zoo. Lovers, how are you, mate?
Very good. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here again, Rob. Huge 4 fight nights over the weekend. Really looking forward to covering them today.
Mate, big things to wrap up there. Good to have you on the couch. First and foremost, all hail the Queen. How are you?
I'm good. I'm actually really excited to be here as well to hear about all 4 fight nights, because probably the only bad thing about being part of them is that I didn't see any of them.
Let's get started. We should start very quickly with the Jamie Myers fight night. Uriah Masaga and Faiapalu Django. Kind of went the way we expected, lovers?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was no question that Django has been more active in the ring lately. Uriah is as tough as they come. He definitely came. He showed up to fight. It was Django won most rounds during the bout, but yeah, it was definitely exciting. It was a durable test for both boys.
Good to see the Big Horse getting some rounds out. Big layoff since his fight against Justice. A great talent, great hard worker, and went back to work Saturday morning. But good to see the teammate out under the lights.
He was. Django actually worked Friday. Didn't finish work until I'm told about 3:30 as well. I haven't seen him in the gym a lot, but yeah, he's definitely going to have to step it up and get back in serious training for his next fight.
Speaking of his next fight, Lethal, you've got something to talk about, something to announce, an exclusive.
Exclusive here today. I'm very excited to announce probably one of the biggest heavyweight fights which could be made in Australia right now on the domestic level. Capital Fight Show 21, April 23. We have Django versus Arsene Fosso, number 2 and number 3 heavyweights domestically in Australia, putting them off against each other for over 8 rounds on Capital Fight Show 21, which will be live on Fox Sports and KO for everybody to watch, but very excited about that.
Can Django reach Arsene?
I don't know. Can Django reach anyone that he fights? Really?
Jokes, Big Horse. But great fight. The boys are going to be going hard at it. There's going to be a lot of big punches there. I'm assuming a few bolo overhand rights from Django. But look, a very interesting fight.
Yeah, absolutely. It is probably the most interesting fight on the domestic level. I think it'll be a great fight.
You'd have to think that Arsene's got to try and fight a long game. Django, like you mentioned, he does, for a big guy, set some really good traps off his head feint.
That's one of the most intriguing things about this fight as well. We don't know how it's going to go. There's no question both boys are extremely tough, but Django is definitely the one with the most movement. He's probably got the better footwork, the faster hands, but then Arsene's got that power.
So you basically think it's going to go Django points or Arsene knockout?
Well, I think that would be smart money. Yeah.
Ebony Bridges got in, and she got a win against Carol Earl. She went the distance with her, but from that, it looks like she's going to get a fight against Shannon Courtney.
Yeah, I didn't see the fight. Obviously, it was the same night I was fighting, but she went the distance with Carol Earl, who's a tough kickboxer.
She's done what she's had to do. She's established rapport with Matchroom, and it looks like she's going to get a chance. Like you said, Shannon Courtney 6 fights, Ebony 4 fights. You can see kind of why they went with that.
I've given you both your instructions in the dressing room. I'm just going to tell you again. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up, back you go, and best of luck at the bell. On today's episode, we're going to go through some of the common mistakes on the knockdown. Point in case, leaving the corner too early. The mandatory 8 count is one of the most important safety factors we have in boxing. A downed boxer has the luxury of 8 seconds in which to recover from the action that's happened. And the referee has that time to assess whether or not the boxer is fit to continue. And if he's not, the referee will then stop the contest. Down, neutral corner. 2, 3, 4, neutral corner. Back you go, back you go. 5, 6, 7, 8, and time. Okay, what we've had there is a fairly common mistake in the fact that the boxer has left the corner too early. It's a safety issue. He must remain in that corner until the referee has called box on.
Moving from there, we go straight into a night to remember. A great little night put on at Nissan Arena by the Boxing Shop. It was basically a coming of age for all the amateurs that were coming into the pro ranks. Liam Pope get his debut against a very tough opponent, Nate Nelson.
Yeah, Nate Nelson, didn't he come to fight? He trained by Paul Briggs on the Gold Coast.
Look, cracking fight, lethal.
Yeah, I think the pedigree of Liam Pope really showed on that night as well, and I think there's nothing better than having a tough fight, first fight as well. That way it really sets you up for your pro career as well. So yeah, it was a cracking fight. Like, he definitely did come to fight Nate Nelson, but you could see that pedigree of Liam Pope did come out, that sharpness, and he just looked really good. It was a very impressive performance.
He was very composed, but he did have to make the adjustments. Nate, a lot of head movement, the smaller opponent. Hey, he really stayed out of the middle range and, you know, really stayed on top of Liam Pope's chest. Liam trained by Stephen Pitt. So yeah, Nate Nelson being dropped in the third round, but boxed well to continue and stay in the fight, but then Liam Pope getting the win. From there we move to Sam Beck and Sean McNamara.
Sam Beck, he was an amateur with Chris Carden, so like obviously still out of that gym. Would be getting awesome rounds in with Rowan Murdoch.
Yeah, Sean McNamara, another kickboxer crossover. Beck being on debut, another tough test ahead of him, but you could see that he really shone in that bout.
Getting the TKO in the third round, you can tell that you know, pedigree gym, pedigree amateur, and yeah, when you're doing the crossover, it's hard. You've really got to be on, you know, on your game. But yeah, Sam Beck getting away with the win there. Dave Hadfield, Billy Ching or Billy Buttress.
Yeah, Billy Ching, formerly trained with Rob Fogarty and Jeff Fennick. Massive upset. I think everyone knew it was going to be a hard fight, but I think everyone assumed that Dave Hadfield would get the win.
Hadfield trained by Regan Desault and Clem Desault. They jumped in the deep end with this one, lethal.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hadfield, again, another established amateur a former national amateur champion, come through debuting on the pros. And as we spoke before, I think that this is definitely a sink or swim moment for Hadfield, but he's one that I think will swim.
Yeah, look, I think it was a tough decision. I think Hadfield did get the win on the night. I think he did rock Billy a few times. I think it was a little bit hard done by, but keep your chin up, son. You're only going to get better and better out of this. He's a great talent. Taylor Robinson, my Nixon. Good to see Taylor back.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for her to go the distance. Tough, awkward fight, I think, for her. I guess she didn't have an opponent until late notice, so she didn't know what to train for and what to expect. And I mean, she got the win, so that's all that matters. She's had a tough fight now.
On 3 weeks' notice, lethal. Great job from Mai to go the distance with one of the most established female amateurs getting around.
Yeah, a huge effort to go the distance with Taylor, and that's going to be one of the hardest things with Taylor, getting her match. So to get her a match and to actually get rounds out like that, I think would be invaluable to Taylor moving forward in her career.
Taylor's sort of touching first and then punching off the back foot. I guess that shows her amateur experience is what really made the difference there compared to your more walk forward brawling sort of style.
But yeah, Taylor, a great talent, and only great things going to come for her. Jack Bowen leading the main event for the night, on a night to remember, getting a tough fight against Tom Wilkinson.
Oh, Jack, he's all class. He's class in and out of the ring, so good on him. It was a beautiful knockout.
Where Jack really specialised in this fight I thought was his timing. You can see it came, he was setting up that right hand, you could see, and it was just, when it came, it was almost perfect, that he just dodged that shot, that right hand landed that knuckle right on the chin, and that was all she wrote. It was perfect shot, perfect placement.
And we've seen it time and time again with Jack and Gareth doing that slip right, when they're doing the pad work. Jack's timing, beautiful. Again, not too much power, wasn't looking for the knockout, but just when it presented itself like that, it was all skill that landed that shot right on the button, and well stopped by the ref.
Got a bit of experience, 30-something years in the game. I came back from 7.5 years overseas and started this gym. We relocated to the south side of Brisbane. I think it was the best thing we ever did. The gym's all about fight sports. I'd say with all the boxing, the popularity in boxing is a massive help here. And we've got a good Muay Thai crew, and we slowly want to build an MMA team, so yeah. Yeah, we've got kid classes, we're trying to create a good community vibe, and I think it's working. I think when people walk in and they see everyone's positive, there's heaps of kids training, we've got a lot of good young up and coming kid fighters, so yeah.
The gym just in general, it's just you'll get what you want, you'll get what your money's worth, and you'll get everything really. It's just the perfect gym. It's hard, it's training, it's to your ability, and if you want to go to that limit and beyond, that's what you're going to get.
What is going on with that haircut?
The mullet, it's the freshest cut. If you don't have a mullet, you're not going to win any fights.
It's the people, the culture. Like it's definitely it's a different vibe. Like it's like a lot of gyms will say it, but it's the family sort of environment as well. You know, you see the kids out there, you see the mums and the families. So even on the fight night that we had here last year, everyone commented about how it was just like a family vibe where we weren't selling alcohol, we weren't doing it for the money. It was more like a community thing. So,
well, this gym is good. It's got everything. It's not just the atmosphere with the kids and that, but man, it's alive here. They got the kickboxing, they got the boxing, and we got just all sorts of cultures here, and we're just happy to teach the kids and get them going. We got all the old school fighters here. We're all here to just happy to share our experiences with the kids, and that's what it's all about. It's all about giving it back to the kids and the community, and just sharing what we've learned through the fight game. And just passing it on to these kids, you know.
They've got a good system here. It fits me and the bars I set for myself. You know, it raises expectations that I have for myself, which pushes me beyond the point of no return. Really. But the coaching staff's really awesome. They welcome me straight from the get-go. I've always felt like a part of the NTG family from day one.
I have to say the trainers make it the best gym. When I first moved here, they were very welcoming, and they're really keen to push their fighters and see them actually succeed, which is awesome. They really put the time and effort into you, and yeah, I can't fault them at all on that.
There's so many like different races here. It's just the different mix of people. Like it's good balance of girls and boys as well. That sort of yin and yang makes it a good combination. Well, it does make a good gym these days. It's feeling comfortable, you know, not feeling out of place, and you see the different skill levels. There's people here that they'll never throw a punch in their life, but then there's people here at the elites, you know, that they fight with the elites. So I think it's the feeling that you fit in rather than feeling sort of ostracized or out of place, no matter what level you're at.
The culture here, the people are absolutely amazing, and it's literally like a family gym, so I love coming here every week. I wouldn't recommend any other gym other than NTG, seriously.
Just the people you train with, the trainers, they make training really fun. It's tough and it's just fun.
What's going on with that haircut?
I know, it's just sexy.
From there we move to the Bendigo Fight Night. Some little mentions that have got to come through from the beginning. Notable wins by Mason Smith, Josh Gottchalk, Sam Abdul Rahim. As we move from there, we kind of move straight into Faris and Blake. What a fight.
I personally think Blake got out-Blaked. It was the awkward versus the awkward, and Faris came out on top.
Couldn't get out of first gear, lethal by the looks of it, Blake Caparello?
Yeah, I think that was the case. Faris, just the timing, the head movement, his awkwardness, just made Blake play right into his own traps that he normally leaves, and it was outstanding performance, very impressive.
Mark, the Hammer Castanini, and Barry Michaels saying that Faris hadn't lost for the last 4 years. Well, he hadn't fought for the last 4 years. But it was good to see him get the light heavyweight title. Let's talk about the most exciting fight on that fight card. The two girls, Shotgun Shannon O'Connell, Shanika Johnson. How do you feel? Talk us through what you thought about the fight.
Yeah, I feel great. To be honest, I woke up, I sort of thought all through the fight camp, like, I wonder what Shanika's going to bring. I actually even said this to her after the fight. And then I woke up the day of the weigh and I went, she trains with Sam Labruna. She's going to be awkward. She's going to be Joel. She's going to be Blake. And she was. Every round after I sat down in the corner, Luke told me slight things to adjust, to move different ways and do different things. And I did them and they worked and I came home strong. It was a good fight for women's boxing, and I'm glad that we had a good fight. I'm glad that we were able to do it and people were able to see it.
that question was answered, but lethal between these two girls.
Yeah.
Who would win and how?
What won you the bout was those clear scoring shots as well, and that movement, and even in most exchanges, you finished most exchange with that clear scoring shot, and that was due to a good game plan, due to everything just coming forward, and I was happy to see how the judges did score that bout as well. It was a great fight for women's boxing and Australian boxing.
I think it definitely showed a couple of things. One, Shannon's 4-fight win streak, 3 undefeated girls she's now beaten clearly, convincingly. We also showed the fact that her conditioning, the rounds that she's been getting with her sparring, the camps that she's been in, the fact that she is a lot more comfortable fighting on these bigger shows under the lights. This is now her 3rd one in under 12 months.
And also as well, like my conditioning, back-to-back hard camps. Like I had a month off, like I fought in December, and then January I was starting up camp, and I was super fit in December, so I started that camp super fit and pushed myself hard.
You know, both girls were active in the earlier rounds. It was very back and forth between each other. After round 6, the adjustment in round 7 was very clear. Round 7 was a strong Shannon round. I think round 9 and 10, clearly yours as well.
As you said, the body language tells a lot as well. You can usually tell after a fight by looking at both fighters. You can see after that bout, Shannon put her hand straight up. She could tell she won, and you could almost see in Shanika's face she looked like she was defeated a little bit there. Wasn't celebrating that she had the win, so you can usually tell a lot from the body language.
But she's a young girl, great pedigree, great little fighter. There's plenty of things for her to keep doing.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think it's become very evident now. Shannon's cleaned out the division. You know, that's all there is to it. It's time for you to move on. Michael Zarafa, Anthony Mundine. What a crazy development only in boxing. Anthony Mundine being knocked out, but being celebrated as the champion that he was.
Yeah, that's really good to see, I think. I think that often a fighter, and especially someone like Choc that is so been in the limelight his whole life, it's hard to let go. So him, almost like his last couple of fights, it's almost like they shouldn't have happened. So it was really good to see the feedback on social media, everyone giving Choc the appreciation that he deserves. The celebration of Anthony Mundine rather than focus on the fight. Like I've seen that many posts on social media where that fight wasn't even mentioned. So it's just more celebrating the career, which is excellent to see.
Anthony Mundine has people put him down and they don't like him for an opinion. One person's opinion that other people don't agree with, and obviously he voices it. You've got all these athletes out there. I mean, obviously majority are great people, but you've got these athletes, footy players, cricketers, anything, breaking the law, getting into parties and getting into fights, and it's
not
okay.
Not being good role models.
Not being good role models, and it's okay for your kids to look up to these guys and idolise them. Yet people hate on Choc for having an opinion that other people don't agree with. It's just one person's opinion, and that is really the only reason people hate him. Yeah, I disagree with some of his opinions, but he's a good person and he's done a lot of good things.
You can see when he was on that reality TV show, the Survivor show, people started to see the real Choc, and you can see how people started to convert over and start to like him. You know that he's got more time for anyone than any of these high celebrities and these high athletes. I know personally I've asked him to make videos before for my friends' sick children, and within an hour you have the video. After events, he stays there and will stay there for hours taking photos with fans, signing for fans, goes straight home. As you said, he doesn't party, he doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, doesn't do any of these things in between his camps. And I think he is a great role model, and I hope that he can stay in the spotlight now somehow, that the country can appreciate him for his achievements and see the real Anthony Mundine.
And I think the people have carried out their champion and have honoured him in a way that is deserved. Probably a little bit late, but definitely deserved. But Shannon, I think it needs to be noted that you nailed it on the head. It was a lose-lose situation for Zarafa. Winning the fight, he was always going to come out as the bad guy. Where does he go from here?
I also saw yesterday Isaac Hardman's calling him out, and Zarafa thumbs up him. So, you know, there might be a fight there.
Moving forward, saying where does Zarafa go from here, I think that is a sensible choice. Maybe the winner of Hardman versus Lucas, or maybe the loser of Zoo versus Hogan. Is he ready just to call out the winner? Is he in that position by beating Anthony Mundine? I don't think so.
I actually don't mind Michael Zarafa, and I think that he should I've said this to Brendan Burke before. He should move away from the Horn Zoo, and I think that's a great idea. I think the loser of Zoo Hogan and the winner of Lucas and Hardman, they're two great fights for him to round out the year and, you know, kick off a great 2022. Now, wrap us on the Paul Nazari fight night really quickly.
Another two huge fights which were on the Paul Nazari fight night down in Sydney. We had the Cotton brothers, two of the bread and butter of Australian boxing, I like to call them. Two great fighters, not great records on them. Ryan Cotton was the New South Wales super welterweight champion. He defeated Mirko Pizzi from Tony Del Vecchio's gym a couple of months back, winning the title. So this was a rematch of that fight, and Pizzi ended up winning the fight against Cotton in this bout, stopping him in the last round. All accounts of it was that both boys went to war with each other, traded down a perfect fight for state honours. And our brother Zach Cotton, we seen him, he was a New South Wales cruiserweight champion, took on Michael Van Nimwegen, who came back to have a return after a long couple of years off as well. But with Van Nimwegen stopping Zach Cotton in round number 7. But another two big fights on the domestic seed down in New South Wales.
All right, here we go. Another instalment of the Tolj tapes.
Good to be back on.
Mate, always good to be back on. Now, the Estrada Chocolatito fight card. Break it down for us.
Mate, these blokes are just absolute animals in a good way. They threw over 2,500 punches. That's just insanity. It's just a cracking fight from start to finish. One was for the WBA Super Championship, which Chocolatito had, and Estrada had the WBC title. And now we've got Estrada as the unified champion, and looking to back up with his mandatory against Rongvisai. Not sure exactly when, but yeah, he's the number one contender for the WBC title.
The internet world is screaming robbed.
I thought Chocolatito won 8 rounds to 4, 7 rounds to 5, but there were some close rounds. But one judge had it 9 rounds to 3, and the WBA have suspended him just because of a poor
judging.
Poor scorecard. Another judge had it, I think, 7 to 5, and one way, and 7 to 5 to Chocolatito.
So they fought twice already. Trilogy?
Definitely. At the moment in the super flyweight division, you've got Chocolatito and Estrada with 2 fights apiece. You've got Chocolatito with Rongvisai, 2 fights apiece. You've got Rongvisai with Estrada at 2 fights apiece. You've got Andrew Maloney and Josh Franco at 2 fights apiece. So they're all looking for trilogies. That division, all the top guys, they all fight each other.
Kyogi Vega, talk to us about that fight.
I thought Vega was winning the fight. He's hit him on the head and broken his arm and couldn't continue.
Only in boxing.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Mate, Edgar Belanga's got a fight coming up again with Top Rank, and they are moving away from Nevada. They're leaving the MGM Grand.
Yeah, that's in Kissimmee, Florida. He's going for his 17th fight, and he's had 16 fights, 16 knockouts, all first rounds. That's the first card that they're not having inside the MGM bubble.
Now, the deal has been done. We are signed for 2 fights, Fury, Joshua.
Yeah, well, that's been reported by Eddie Hearn with Mark Kriegel from ESPN. That's by all reports that it's done. I just seen an interview yesterday with Tyson Fury, and he rejected the claim. So that's interesting. But that was yesterday, and today's a different day. So everything changes in boxing within a microsecond.
Mate, it absolutely does. Mate, so much things happening. Another cracking Tolj tapes keeping us up to date with everything international. You are the man, and it just keeps getting better.
It's the best.
Special guest has come into the studio, and we thought we have to take full advantage of this. Bang and Benny Kite, mate, how are you?
Hey, great, thanks Rob. Thank you for having me again.
Now, Benny Kite with his welterweight fight coming up against Andrew Hunt. Mate, how's camp going? How are you feeling?
Yeah, camp's been phenomenal. Loving it at the moment. Training's been going really well, learning lots of new stuff.
Ben, at the moment, I commend you. I think you're a great ambassador for Australian boxing, having your 3rd tough fight in a row against Australia's best, beating Tyson Best 2 fights ago, then Danny Kennedy last fight, now going straight into Andrew Hunt. I think all fighters should take a leaf out of your book. There's no fight that's too hard for you to step up. So I commend you for that, mate, and being a great ambassador for our sport.
Mate, well said. He really is. He's well spoken. He's a great ambassador. You know, he's never talked too much trash. He's always let the other teams do that, and good on him. But mate, what can we expect from the fight from your point of view?
This is another opportunity for me to show that I am a higher class of athlete. You know, people have got big raps on this guy, that he's the most talented guy in the division. But I truly believe I'll be able to outclass him and outbox him.
Another thing that's impressed me, Ben, is you, during that transitional phase, you were one of the few fighters that were allowed to keep the Australian title and compete for the IBF regional title. But now, once that transitional phase is over, you had to make that choice to either vacate the national title or vacate your IBF regional title, and that you've chose to defend the national title against Andrew Hunt, which is, I agree, one of our top domestic fights being made, and very well it should be for the Australian titles.
Holding on to the IBF title and vacating the Australian title wasn't really going to do anything for me immediately. Whereas if I vacated the IBF title and defended the Australian title, you know, it means that I get a fight, I get to stay active. I've got an opportunity to fight for the IBF title
and
again.
massive brownie points putting your country on your back, mate. Well done.
Was there not the option, like, was Andrew Hunt not were their team not open to fighting for the IBF?
My understanding of it is that they want the Australian, wanted to fight for the Australian title.
Good for them as well that they want that.
The Australian title holds a lot of weight, and when the world does open up again and people can look at overseas fights and stuff, you know, the person who's at the top of this country that has been able to stay active throughout the whole COVID thing, I think, is who we're going to be looking at.
Due Andrew Hunt fighting Luke Woods and now stepping up to Ben Kite, big ask for him and his team. And when they offered this to Andrew, he didn't take a backward step in wanting that fight. So I think a lot of credit's got to be due to the fact that he's backing himself as well as his team backing him. You know, but huge fight domestically, massive.
Exciting, and well done to Tasman fighters as well for making it happen.
Mate, really looking forward to this fight, and everybody else should be. Obviously, you're in camp at the moment. You're looking very focused and fit. And we expect only the best, Ben Kite, and wish you all the best and safety and success.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. Thanks for having me.
Look, a great show. Again, big thanks for Adam Lovelock coming on and filling in for Joel while Joel's away. Thanks for coming in Monday straight after the fight. Benny, thanks for coming in, mate, even though, you came in on your own. But a great show, great things happening in Australian boxing. I'm Rob Schyff, and you're watching Before the Fight.